Good morning, my name is Karen Kong and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And welcome to my Woodland Wishes Crafting to Go series. This is card number 2 for this series. It's a fun fold. So it opens up like this so you can see all the animals. And it's I really like how it turned out. Super cute animals. And you would do all your writing for the card on the back. So I'm going to leave like an extra piece. I'll leave it with the card for whenever I'm ready to use it, so that I'll write it and then I'll glue it on the back rather than putting it on ahead of time. But that is the fun fold. If you are joining in for the first time, please say hi and join in the conversation. I don't like to talk to myself. It's not nearly as fun. Good morning, Tara. Thanks for joining in. I'm just going to get my computer set up and so that I can hopefully see your comments while we are crafting. It's been misbehaving. Facebook has been misbehaving for a few weeks, but now it seems to be back on track. So let's hope that I can see all your comments while we are crafting together. Just let me get that set up. All right, good. It's set up. All right, so I'm going to switch over to my desktop so you can see what we are making today and all the products that I used. Just close your eyes while I remount my phone. I don't have any fancy technology for two cameras or whatever to actually I wonder how the demonstrators do it when they have two viewpoints, and I'm wondering if that means they have to have two cell phones, or I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe a desk mount. Anyways, all right, so here's my fun fold. I pulled out a bunch of retired products to use with this. Okay, so if you can see, there is an embossed background. It's the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder that I used. That's one thing. And then to achieve these curves, and I think that there are probably a few sets out there that have dies to cut curvy edges. And I used the edge from Beach Day. Okay, so the Beach Day set has a curvy die in it. Let me just get that out. Okay, so this is the piece that I used, and I cut different curves from it, and then I used the trees from Snowman Magic. Okay, so lots of retired sets being pulled out here, but you can mix and match with your own. But if you placed a qualifying order with me, and I think my registration is still open, I think, till the beginning of July. If you place a qualifying order during this time with me in Canada, then I will send you all the pieces for all the cards that I make this month for free. So I will pre-cut and pre-emboss stuff for you, but you will need the stamp set to complete the card. If you are in Ottawa, then you have the opportunity to sign up to come in person to complete the cards at my house, and we can have a crafting evening, and you can use my stamp set to finish it off. But this is a really cute stamp set to have, so I plan on combining it with a bunch of retired things. So there's lots of things to do for this this fun fold, and I tried to prepare a bunch of stuff ahead of time, but I didn't quite get through everything. So let's get started, because it's going to take a little while to make everything. So this is called a side step fun fold. I think that's it. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's a side step card. Side step fun fold. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you how I make the card base. So if you get the pieces from me, I will give it to you all cut and pre-scored. But I'll show you in this video how to do it yourself if you want to make it yourself. Okay, so what you're going to need is a piece of pool party paper, and it's a half sheet of an 8.5 by 11. And where did I put my piece? I had cut my piece this morning, and now I don't know what I did with it. Let me see. Oh, I think I put it back in the package, the extra piece. So I have started cutting things. So here's this is a half sheet of 8.5 by 11, okay? And what we're basically going to do let me move these out of the way and you'll see I drew it out for you where you have to cut and score. Good morning, Sandra. Let me just make a room. Okay, so this is how your 8.5, sorry, no, it's not 8.5, 8.5 by, yes, 8.5 by 5.5. So it's a half sheet of 8.5 by 11. So I cut it in half. So there's 8.5, not in half, sorry, 8.5 by 5.5, which is not half of the sheet. It's a little bit more than half of a sheet, isn't it? 8.5 by 5. Oh no, that is half a sheet. I'm getting very confused. I haven't finished my coffee yet. Let me just take a sip. Yeah, definitely need more caffeine. Okay, so half a sheet. Then you're going to want to cut a section of it from the 1 inch mark to the 6.5 inch mark, which is, oh, I forgot to mark that that measurement, which is 2.5 inches right here. Okay, so that's 2.5 inches from the sides. You're going to score along this slit at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3.25 inch, 4.5 inch, and 6.5 inches. Okay, and then a final score mark on the right side at the 4.25. Okay, and that will give you the fold that you need. Okay, so let's get to that. So I'm going to cut the slit first, and because it's marked 1, 2, 3.25, 4.5. Okay, the ruler here is starting at 1 at the top. So I'm actually going to turn it around so that I can visualize this the same way. Yes, Tara, I'll take a picture of the dimensions. I'll probably try and do a better picture than that. Maybe use a photo editor, or sorry, like a graphics package to draw it out properly, so it's easier to see. But it is pretty easy once you figured it out. Okay, so I'm going to do this the same way. Because this is the 1 inch mark here for scoring, my ruler on my my trimmer, the 1 inch mark is down here. So I'm matching it up so that it's not so confusing, okay? So I need to measure 2.5 inches from the left, which is actually the same thing as 3 inches from the right. So I'm gonna start this, set this up so it's 3 inches from the right, okay? And I'm going to take my cutting blade and I'm going to line it up with the 6.5 inch mark here. Okay, so there's the little notch here in the cutting blade. You're going to match it up with the 6.5 inch mark here on the ruler. Okay. Then I'm just going to place it down and you're going to hear the blade kind of punch the paper. And I'm going to slide it down till I hit the 1 inch mark down here. Okay. Again, I'm using that little notch in the side to match up with the ruler. Okay, so that's my slit. All right, so now I'm going to turn it sideways. And I want to score this section here, right? So I'm going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to line it up here with the 1 inch mark on this side. Okay, I'm going to get that cutting blade out of the way so I don't accidentally score. Now, instead of matching up the notch mark in your blade, your scoring blade with the ruler exactly with the slit, I would actually put it very slightly below, because if you mark it up exactly with the slit, you're going to end up with a score on it that just crosses that cut mark, and you don't really want to do that because it will become visible here, right? You'll get a whole bunch of notches up the side of your card here, so you want to avoid that by starting your embossing, sorry, not your embossing, your score blade just below this the cut line. Okay, so I'm going to start it there, and I'm going to go down. Okay, so I'm going to move it back up, and I'll do it again. Okay. I think it's easier than going up and down, because I tend to, if I go back up, I very likely will go over that cut line, right? So now the next one is 2 inches. I'm going to move it to 2 inches. And we'll do the same thing. I'm going to move this just under the cut line. And we'll start from there. Okay, and I'm just going to move it back up again, just under the cut line. Okay. The next one is 3 1/4. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, you can't see the bottom of the trimmer. I have to move my ink pads out of the way here so I can move this up. Thanks for letting me know, Tara. I have too many things on my desk. All right, I hope you can see that better now. Okay, so where am I? I am at 3 1/4, I believe. Let me just double check my measurements. 3 1/4. I think I could move up just a little bit more to help you see the bottom of this trimmer. Okay, I think that's better. So 3 1/4. I'll move this out of the way. Okay, so 3 1/4 inches here, and I'm gonna put the blade just under the cut line. Okay, I'm gonna do that again to give it a good score line. Okay, and then the next one is 4 1/2, 4 1/2 on this side. Oops, I moved that a little bit. 4 1/2. Okay, and then again placing it so the notch is just under the cut line, and we'll do that twice. Okay, 4 1/2, and the last one is 6 1/2. So I need to extend my blade, sorry, extend my arm on this so I can get the right measurement. So 6 1/2, and that should actually take you right to the end of that cut line. Okay, so now we've got all these score lines done. I'm going to do the final score line here, which is at 4 1/4 inches on this side. Okay, so let's just line this up, 4 1/4 inches. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to place it right under the score line, not at the score line, right? Not right on top of it, not on top of this cut line, I mean. And we're going to score it. Once again. All right. All the scoring and the cutting is done. And from here on, not so tricky. Right, let's get that out of the way. So now we're going to fold it along all the score lines. Okay, I'm going to get my bone folder, and we will properly burnish all the folds. Okay, so let me just double check. This one goes down, yeah. Okay, so this first one is going to go down, and then from there it'll be just the opposites. Right, we're just going to fold it all. And there you have your card base. So now I'm just going to burnish all our folds really well. And then also on this side. Okay, so there's our card base. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is create all the layers. So I have like several layers of snowy hills for my background of my animals. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to trim all the edges here using the beach blade, the Beach Days blade, and create like different shaped hills for my my snowy background. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine, because we're going to want to cut first and then emboss, because if I emboss and then cut, die cut, it will flatten all my snowflakes. Okay, so we'll do the cutting first. Thanks, Sandra. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Okay, so let's make some room for my cut and emboss machine. Okay, so I have several layers. So on the very front is one layer, and then this middle step here I have 2 layers. Okay, and then the third one I have 3 layers. But whatever you decide you want to do, I mean, you could just do 1 or 2 layers. It's up to you. But I just that's what I did. Okay, so I'm going to cut them so that I have different hills. Okay, so I have the first layer here, and I'm going to cut it. Let's see. This way. This is how I'm going to use my die. It feels weird to be pulling out all my snowy and like Christmassy sets, because we're just like just starting the month of June, and here I am pulling out Christmas stuff. But honestly, it's gonna be way less stressful than 6 months from now when I'm like needing to get these cards out the door, right? Okay, so there's one. That's the first layer, the first step. Okay, and this second step, I'm going to make a dip in it. Oh, let me just line this up. I don't want to cut too much off the top, so I'm just kind of seeing where the tips are ending up at. Yeah, it's it's more fun, I think, to do the Christmas cards in summer in some ways, because you're not stressed to get them done. And it's like a change of pace from the current season. I mean, we can enjoy the outdoors and the sunshine, and at the same time enjoy Christmas. Okay, so that's for the middle step. And we'll do another one for the middle step, and I'm going to make this one rise. So I'm going to use this edge, this side of the edge of the die. Try not to tilt it too much. I want it to. There we go. That's the right angle, I think. And it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, because they're just hills. I just want to leave enough room to show all my animals and do my... Oh, I think I might not have cut off enough because the top might be a straight edge. Let me just double check this. Yeah, my top, I didn't put it low enough, so I'm going to have to cut a little bit more. There we go. Yes, Sarah, you could always just use scissors, and there are several sets that have edges. I actually thought I might use the Window Wishes edge, but I found that one to be a little bit short. Like it was only like 2 inches wide, like the little hill that it makes, and it wasn't quite enough to span the full length of this. So I ended up realizing that I had this die, which came in really handy. Okay, so that's the middle step, and then we'll have to do the back step. So again, it doesn't really matter where along the blade you choose to do it. It just depends on how you want it to look. Okay. Again, if you get the pieces from me, I will have these all pre-cut for you and pre-embossed. The only one that I cannot pre-emboss is the very front one because it has to be stamped, and I think it would be fine if it did not have any embossing, if you don't have that embossing folder, but everything else will be done. Okay, and this is, I'm going to make it dip down. Let's move it over for a little variation in the hill. Oh yeah, and if you use a hill stamp, that's right. You are right, Sandra. Absolutely. So if you have another stamp set that has a hill in it, then you can use that as a guide for cutting when you stamp it on your paper, and then just use it to help you cut a hill. Okay, and I have one last one to do, and then we'll be done. And this one, let's use a different. Let's make it go like this. I want to make sure I don't have the same angle hills in this section. It's the very back panel of my back step. Okay. Alright, so those are all my hills created. Let's just double check that the alignment looks good. Alright, so here's my back panels. You're going to line it like this. Oh, I think that looks good. Alright, and then these two will be like this for the middle step. Great. Alright. Okay, so let's do some stamping. Let's stamp this piece here. I'm going to stamp this first, okay, so I don't forget, because chances are in reality crafting, if I start embossing, I will emboss everything and then forget that I have not stamped this. So let's stamp. I'm going to bring in my my Stamparatus, because I want to make sure with line art I get good solid images. So if I miss anything, I can go back and re-ink and make sure it's stamped properly. I have my animals set up already, so I'm going to stamp the animals first, and then I'll show you actually how to do reverse stamping so that you can get a reverse image of the fox so they can sit together, and it looks pretty. Okay, so I am going to ink this up. I'm going to move these out of the way because I like to place an ink pad underneath my my clear panel so that it's easier to ink up, because it'll be level with my Stamparatus. Okay, so let's just use this one, and I'm going to bring in my I'm going to use Memento ink this week, and it's fine for these marking. So I never explained how I did this. So if you'll notice, each of my animals have been outlined in Pool Party to match the card base, okay? It gives them a little bit of extra, I don't know, emphasis? Is that what the word I'm looking for? Just so that they don't fade into the background, right? If it's just plain black and white, I don't think they would have the same impact, okay? So by outlining them, you get more impact, and it I think it ties in with the card base really well. So yeah, so I'm going to stamp all these, and then I am going to use Memento ink, and I did use Memento ink for this as well. Something I did notice with between the two different inks, between the, yes, Sandra just posted the word depth. Yes, depth. That's a good word. But impact, I think, is more what I was looking for, but you know, you get the idea. But with the Memento ink and the new hybrid ink, I'm finding that the Memento ink is crisper somehow. I don't know how to explain it. It just seems crisper. And it did not bleed, as you can tell, when I outlined, because I only went up to the line. I tried not to go over any of the lines too much. And so I'm going to use the Memento ink for today. Okay. So let's ink these up. Okay, the fox looks really good. I think my bear needs a little bit more, and the deer, and my little porcupine, or yeah, I think it's a porcupine. So I'm just re-inking those three. Oh yes, Sandra, you know it. There is fussy cutting coming up. There we go. That looks really good. All right, let me just clean off the stamps. Okay, and we'll remove that. Those 4 animals. I'm just going to set that aside, and I'll show you how to reverse stamp the fox. So let's move these back onto the... Okay. All right, put those away. What we're going to do now is use a silicone mat to create a reverse image of the fox. Okay, I need a scrap piece. Okay, here's a scrap piece of white. I'm going to place my silicone mat here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp an image onto my silicone mat, and then I'll place my paper right on top, and we'll stamp it again to transfer the image onto the back side, and that's how you're going to get your reverse image. Okay. Oh, I thought it was a hedgehog at first too, you know that, Tara? But just now is when I thought it might be a porcupine, because I don't know if hedgehogs, are there a lot of those in the wild versus porcupines? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Actually, I can see that his foot is not fully inked. I'm just going to go back and ink that to make sure it's fully inked. Okay. So now I'm just going to stamp my silicone mat. Do you see that little image there? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover it up. Place the paper straight down. And then I'm going to stamp on top of it again just to make sure that the ink transfers to the back. And there you have it. You have your reverse fox. And you know what was really handy I found when I was creating my scrapbook last week for the one of our dance teachers, and I was playing around with the images that I wanted to put on each page. And because I had stamped on both sides, I could flip it over if I needed to use a reverse image of the bunny instead of the regular orientation that came with the set. So that was super handy. So that's really a really handy trick. Okay, so let me just clean this off. Super easy to do. You just need a silicone mat to transfer your images. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if the hedgehog is smaller than a porcupine. I really actually don't know if, you know, in real life, I don't know which one's bigger. I'm going to guess that a hedgehog is smaller. But I think the porcupine, like, he's he's a good size compared to the deer and the bear. So, okay. So now what I'm going to do next is take out my Pool Party blends marker. And it's just going to be the light Pool Party. Let me just see. This is my dark Pool Party. Did I use dark? I might have used dark. Let's see. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on one side here. Okay, let me compare. Oh, I think I used the dark. Maybe I'll use the light this time just for comparison. Okay, yes, there are lots of techniques packed into this card, Sandra. We've done reverse stamping, we've got a fun fold, and then I'm going to show you like blending onto a circle and making paint spatters, because I felt like it was too plain having it just plain white or just the plain blended blue in the background. So I added some water spatters in the background. Yeah, lots of techniques today. So I'm going to take the light Pool Party this time, and we're going to do some outlining. And hopefully this won't take too long. Outlining is actually pretty easy. I mean, you're just aiming to give it the same width, but even if you make a mistake on the width of the line that you're adding, you're going to trim it anyways, so it doesn't matter. You can trim down to the right size. So I'm just taking it and outlining along the edge. And I'm turning it so that I can see where the tip of my marker is, so that I don't go over my black lines. There. Okay, there's one. Let's do this little hedgehog guy. He's so cute. This outlining trick also works for if you are stamping images onto your card and you're not even fussy cutting. You can add this outline technique just to give your images on the card extra oomph. I haven't done it in a while, so it's kind of fun to bring back this technique. Okay, sorry, I know I'm going off the page now again. I just realized that. Off the screen, I mean. Okay, let's do the... Okay, I don't have my glasses on, so I can just barely see some of the comments, but I think I see something about cutting and then coloring, and that is definitely a possibility. It just depends on what works for you. I didn't try it that way around, but I'm sure that would work well too. And I saw something about the measurements of the porcupine versus a hedgehog, so I have to put my glasses back on to see how that compares. Who knew? Never thought about it before. Okay, let's do this deer. This is a great rainy day kind of activity. Okay, one more. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Tara, last week I wasn't sure how you felt about the watercoloring. How did you like it? Because Tara tried the water painters last week here. There we go. Okay, I gotta catch up with your comments now. Oh, I see. Place the stamp on top of the image and then trace the outline. Oh yeah, if you wanted to cut, yes, if you wanted to draw around it with using the stamp and just trace the edges of the stamp, it'll give you enough of like an edge around your image, and you can cut along that edge as well. Oh good, Tara, you did enjoy it. Okay, and it's super easy to clean up after watercoloring. That's what I really like. Okay, so let's cut these guys out. So now, if you had any qualms about the imperfections of your coloring, you're going to smooth it all out with your cutting. Yeah, so for this week, I kind of wanted to do a card that didn't require me to color all the images in. I think it turned out well. Okay, I'm just going to snip that off to make it easier to manage my paper and get my scissors in there. There's one bear for you. Okay, I'm just going to cut this apart. It makes it easier to fussy cut when you're not hanging on to like the whole piece of paper. So I like to cut it down to the approximate size of the image, get rid of any extras. Oh, I can see you're trying to get out of fussy cutting, Sandra. I can't pre-stamp images, so I can't pre-cut these. There's no dies for this set, unfortunately. So you would have to stamp and then cut. but you know that when you come over to do stamping and personing with me, I am happy to help. So if you want me to help you with the fussy cutting, I can always do that if you're here in person. Okay, the hedgehog I'm going to cut slightly bigger because he's going to be hard to hold when he's little. He's such a little guy. Nice try, Sandra, though. I don't think these guys are too hard to fussy cut, though. All right. We have 2 left to do. You had to ask. Well, good try. But like I said, if you're here in person, I can always help. But look at this, it's mostly straight lines. Well, okay, not straight line, but I mean like the edges are, you know, the legs are fairly straight. And if you're watching this video, you have the option of just simply fast forwarding through this. Just going to snip this off, get it out of the way. Oops. A little bit closer there. I'm just following the edge of my color here. All right, we have 1 left to do, and then we can go on. Oh, I didn't stamp this one. And I said that's what I was going to do, and I forgot, see? But I haven't embossed yet, so we're still good. I was just going to say that I don't have a rush of birthday cards to make now that, you know, the big rush is over right after Christmas, because I have a lot of birthdays in my family right after Christmas. And I just realized I do have my daughter's birthday and her graduation from grade 8 and somebody else's birthday. I have to get on things. And Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up and I don't have a Father's Day card. So that's my to-do list. Okay. I think I have all, oh, I forgot to stamp that too. Okay, so let's get those stamped. Let's bring this back and I'm going to remove this little fox. Let's get the bird. I think I used pretty much every animal already in this stamp set. I think I just haven't used the little embellishments and haven't used all the sentiments yet. So they're still week 3 and 4. We've still got time. Okay, so where is a scrap? Let's see. Oh, I can use this scrap. Put this here. And I need the bottom piece here for my sentiment. So let's put this here. I always line it up on my grid in case the paper does move. I can line it up again, and so I can restamp if I need to. Okay, so this is the Christmas cheer for all to hear. I'm just going to center it along the bottom. Trying to make sure it's straight. Okay, so we'll stamp both of them at the same time. See, this moved. So now I'm just going to line it up again with my corners. And I'm just going to double check that looks good still. Okay, so let's ink this up. That looks really good. I think both of them look good. I think I might want to do that just a slight bit heavier, just to make it a little bit darker. Yeah, okay. So that's stamped now, and we just have one more to outline. So for those of you who are demonstrators, you will have seen the new July pre-order. So all the sets that are coming out early July are available for demonstrators to pre-order at this time. This set is one of them, and then I also got the poinsettia set, which I should show you, because that is going to be a class I'm holding, I believe, early August. So a sneak peek of the poinsettia set. Let me just find it. Oh, I shouldn't promise things where I don't have them right at hand. Here we go. Okay, So here's the pretty poinsettia that's coming out. That's the stamp set. And then here's the dies that come out with it. And I'm excited to create these leaves with like all the detail embossed right into the leaf. So that'll be fun. Okay, I think we're ready to emboss. Let's emboss all these pieces now. So I'm going to get my cotton emboss machine back. Let me clear all these pieces off my desk. And I used just the bottom section of the embossing folder because I didn't want to have too much snow on the ground of my scenery. Move my animals. Okay. So I have all my pieces ready to go here. So my Christmas cheer. So I'm going to turn it this way. This side of the folder closest to the fold has the least amount of snow, and I'm going to try to make sure that when I emboss it that I don't put a snowflake right in the middle of the letters. I don't think it'll obscure it too much, but I think it'll actually be fine. But I want to get maybe the 2 snowflakes up above it. So I'm going to put it on an angle here. Okay. So that's how I'm going to do it. So you can see afterwards, I can push that down a little bit so it doesn't cover my C. There we go. So now I have snowflakes. The big snowflakes are here and here. I need to remove that plate. Apologies if my camera starts wobbling. Oh, I wonder if this moved. See, this is reality crafting. I have no idea what happened. I put my snowflakes up here, and somehow they're at the bottom. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Okay. Let's put the next 2 on. So really, these are just, for decoration of your hills, and doesn't really matter where they get their snowflakes, but I kind of wanted them to be, the least amount of snowflakes on the ground. So I'm putting them there. So these would come pre-embossed in your kit. I have 3 more. This. I'm going to put this one here. Let's put this one here. Okay. Oh, see, it's very easy to move because it's so thin. I want it to be like this. All right. This is the back panel of the 3rd step, so let's put it here. All right, I have all my panels done. Now I'm going to just do the Just wondering where my other piece of paper went. Okay, well, I have this one. This is going to be the background for the main side panel here, okay? So I'm going to have a little bit more snow in this scene, so I'm going to move it up a little bit more. So that last week's card was very fast and easy. This week's card is more involved for sure. So it is taking more time. Okay, I think I have one more thing to cut and emboss actually. And that is the circle that is behind the two the little foxes. So just let me grab the right size of that layering circle. And I think it's this one. Yes, okay. So let's get a piece of scrap white. I think that'll be it for die cuts. Okay, let's put this away. All right, let's do this background piece here. I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper. Okay, so here's piece of scrap paper. I'm going to put a little bit of Pool Party onto my background so it's not just plain white. So let's just ink this up. And I'm just going to very gently brush it on, okay? So starting off and brushing on. And that's just going to give me a soft color in the background. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take a water painter. Okay, and I'm just going to flick water on here. All right, so very gently flick the tip of the brush. And you won't be able to see the water because I can barely see the water here. Okay, and I'm just gonna, after I've done that, I'm just gonna quickly dab it to lift any moisture off. Okay, and when it dries, it's going to leave like an interesting pattern in the background. I'm gonna leave that. Yeah, the blending brushes give you the color you want in the background without giving it to give you some depth in the shading, and then and it's of course lighter, right? Okay, so I'm gonna leave that to dry. Let's start assembling the rest of the card. Okay, so I'm actually gonna lay it down flat to assemble. Let me bring back my pieces. So this one goes here. Those two go in the middle, and I have my 3 pieces for the back. Okay, so it should be exactly wide enough to fit each step, right? So I'm going to start gluing, and I'm going to put the glue actually on this panel directly so that I don't accidentally put glue that's not going to be stuck to paper, because if it's sticking out it will glue itself back. Like if I put it on the back here by accident, it'll end up sticking onto the next panel. So this is how I'm going to make sure that it does not do that. Okay, so it should line up and fit right in where the cut line is. Okay, so here's my two middle pieces. And don't go right to the edge, because then once the glue gets squished, so it doesn't get oozed out the side by accident. Okay. And this will go right here. And I'm not, just be sure that you don't go over the score line. You want to leave room for the paper to bend. So just make sure that your paper sits right up against it, but not over it. And this time I'm putting it right on the piece, because this piece is smaller than the one behind it. Oh, I should check to see if I put any pieces. Yes, so I have my two trees here tucked in. So I'm just going to grab my die cuts here. The glue's still wet, so hopefully I'll just be able to slide those in. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. Yeah, I haven't pushed it down yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottoms of these trees, and I'm going to slide these in. So I believe this one is just the bottom two sets of branches that are on the paper. So I don't want to put any glue any further up than that. Okay. And I'll do the same thing over here. This one's going to go down a little further, so I'll put dots of glue up to the third level of branches. And I'm going to overlap them just a little bit. I'm going to tuck it in. Okay. And then my deer is going to sit on top. Okay. So let's bring in the deer. I'm just going to line him up before I, before I glue him down. I want to make sure I leave enough room for my little porcupine or hedgehog. Oh, I missed that comment. I'll have to go back up and check to see which one's bigger. But I kind of want him to go there. So I'm going to put glue on the bottom half. I think I could probably get away with putting glue here too. Actually, you know what I think I did? I put a little glue dot to give it a little bit extra height, because it is on a slightly higher, because it's on a second piece of cardstock. So let's grab my glue dot. I think I have a half a glue dot somewhere at the very edge here. And I'm just going to put it on his head. And we'll put glue on the bottom half of his body. Or her body, actually. That's a deer. That's a female deer. So around here. And our little porcupine. Okay, let's glue the back panels down. going to put glue on this section here. And again, just up to the fold line, but not on it. Okay, and I'll put the middle one. So I'm going to be mindful that I do want to stick in a little tree there on the top, so I need some time to do that. So let's put glue all the way around. And I'm going to also put glue on this one so that it's ready to go. And it's really just the trunk of the tree that goes behind inside. So I don't want any glue on the branches because I know that it's sticking out. Okay. And then this will go here. So the glue's still wet, so it's going to let me lift it up and just tuck it in. I'm going to make sure that the branches don't go beyond the left side of the card because I don't want it to get crushed going into the envelope. I'm going to pull that out just a little bit more. There we go. Yes, Sandra, you are right. I think I mean to call that deer a doe, if you want to, if we are going to be correct. All right, and this bear is just going to go here, and then I'll put the last layer on top because I want him to be kind of behind the hill. Okay. Let me just put that there, and I'm just going to double check that he's kind of standing in the right spot because I want him to be a little bit behind the hill. So I'm going to lower him a little bit actually. There we go. I don't want his feet to be showing. And then I'll add glue to my last layer. There we go. Make sure he's down. There is our scenery. All right, on the left side. And okay, so now we just have the right side to put together now. I'm going to put this stamp set right on top so you can see it better. Okay, so here's our, I'm going to assemble it off of the card since it wants to pop up. So actually I could do it like this. We could do it like this instead. Lay it flat while we're working on it, right? So let's glue this down. And I'm just going to center this and okay. All right, and then see how the water dried? It's got little spatter marks. So I think that looks cool. We'll bring in our little fox and companion. And I have one more tree. So the tree I'm just going to glue right down the left side. So let's put some glue just on the trunk. Okay, and I want him to cover up the tree trunk base. And this guy to be a little bit higher, so let's do that. Oops, this side. He wants to keep flipping over. I'm gonna have to be careful or I'm gonna end up gluing the wrong side. Okay, and I just actually should tuck him a little bit behind the front one. There we go. All right, so behind the circle, you can see I've added ribbon. So that's pool party ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Stamp and Seal so that I can adhere my ribbon. Okay. So I've got a bunch of Stamp and Seal there, and then I'm going to attach some ribbon. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate how much I need here. I'll cut a little bit of extra. So let's cut about that much. And then I'm just going to arrange it. Actually, I like to do it from the front because then I can see where it's going. Like this. Okay, so I need a little bit more length at this end. So I didn't press it down, so it's easy to just pull it off, and we can do it again. Okay. Oh, that loop is too big, I think. Oh, I just have enough. All right. I think that's good. I'm going to trim that in just to clean it up. There we go. Now we'll just put some dimensionals and we can mount it. And I don't know where my large dimensionals went to. Okay, reality crafting moment. Can't find my stuff. All right, I don't know where the large dimensionals have gone to, so we'll just use the small ones here. I don't understand. They were here just a minute ago. How many times do you say that in a day? All right, we'll just use the little ones. Okay. I'm sure once I'm done, I'll find them. Okay. Oh yeah, I could just use the border. I wish I had thought of that. Could have used the border of it and they would have been thicker. Anyways, let's take the backing off. I am having trouble getting this one backing off. There we go. Okay, so let's position this here, a little bit higher. There we go. And I'm going to use dimensionals to raise the little bird up as well. And my last touch, which I thought of adding afterwards when I finished my card initially, I thought it really needs a little bit of sparkle, so I added my rhinestone jewels. Let's get take your pick tool. Okay. And that is the card for this week. So I think it worked out so well. It's a little bit more time intensive, but what an amazing card. I love this card. You can put your writing inside if you want. I mean, you could stick your panel there, or you could stick it on the back so that, you know, your card doesn't have to be opened. It can just be left on display, right? So I hope you enjoyed that and are inspired to create your own little winter scene there. All right, so that's card number 2, and registration is still open for this this Crafting to Go series kit, and you can get all these pieces to make this card yourself. All right, have a great week, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye.